All right, today we have Lee Daniels here with his 2019, and you drove up through the night and powered through a not a lot of sleep, but we're going to dyno this truck. He's done a good bit of modification to it. Dan, I'll let you go over kind of what you did to it.
The biggest thing is we wanted to see what the CP3 conversions would make on these trucks. I wanted to make a streetable truck that anybody can drive and still make good power. So we've got a 10 mil S&S pump, 80% over injectors, and a Taterbilt 6368. So we'll see if we can get it dialed in.
You've done what, head studs too?
The 625 head studs and the 7/16 push rods from Mountain.
But stock valve springs.
Stock valve springs, all that.
And then I believe you also did an air dog.
Yeah, we've got an air dog 165.
Some transmission work.
Yeah, it's got the RevMax triple disc converter, billet flex, 850 drum, deep pan, valve body, all that.
So altogether, it's a well-rounded street truck. It still drives like a stock truck, but he's been dealing with a little bit of drivability issues. That's when I put it on the dyno. We can data log everything in a controlled environment and get everything dialed in, and hopefully we can make some decent power today and see what it does.
Sounds good.
Okay, we made a couple runs on Lee's truck and it is running very good. We did 760 horsepower on tune 5 and 278 horsepower on tune 1 with spread between 1 through 5. Everything seems to be doing good. Turbo shaft speed, rail pressure was draining a little bit. Turbo shaft speed was like 140,000 RPM, which is comparable to what the stock turbo does. So we're going to make a couple changes to try to get the CP3 regulator down and see if we can make a little bit more rail pressure. If we can get more fuel to it, it's still burning clean. I think we can make a little bit more power, but 760 horsepower is the most horsepower we've ever made on this dyno on a VGT turbo. So this is a Taterbilt 6368 and it's responding very well. So hopefully we can add a little bit more fuel, maybe a little bit, make a little bit more, but we will see. We're got a flash loading right now and we'll go from there. All right, well, we finished up the day with some pretty good numbers. Did we hit your goals?
Yeah, my goal was anywhere close to 800 and we hit 787, so
yep.
Can't be happier than that.
It was like 787 and 1,311 foot-pounds of torque. We put, what, 18 passes on the truck and 7 different revisions. We're working with CTT Tuning on getting the calibration right, and it just takes a while on these new trucks. There's different limiters on fueling limiters to get it to hit all the commanded set points and torque, the torque set points. So now pretty much all we need to do is get the thing off the dyno and drive it and make sure street mainers are good. But we are watching smoke control on the dyno. The tailpipe is relatively clean. The turbo was, I feel like it's not within that crazy danger zone. We hit 141,000 RPM shaft speed, which is getting up there, but it's not at a point where we think it's going to come apart. But we put 18 passes on it, so it's a solid truck. I think it's going to be a good driver. I think you'll be able to hook a trailer on it. And
like I said, the plan was to have a close to 800 horsepower truck you could hook to the gooseneck or drive 7 hours to go dyno, then drive it back home. So.
Well, good deal. We'll get this thing off the dyno and send him on his way.
Appreciate it.
Okay, we got the truck off the dyno and we are going to go on a little spin and just see how it drives. This is just making sure the air-fuel ratio during acceleration is good and making sure that it's clean to drive and responsive and everything's doing what it's supposed to do. See, he's smiling. That's all that matters. Feels good, and really it's clean as a whistle. It's responsive. We've got a couple little low-end fueling. Throttle pedal isn't quite as responsive as it was, so we're going to try to put a revision in to get the initial bottom end lugging responsiveness there, and otherwise he's going to be good to go.
Very
Ready to go
happy.
back home.